This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
You've maxed out your 401k, you're contributing to an IRA, and making some other investments. You're ahead of the game and doing well. But where do you go from here? The same old story can only get you so far. If you want a new take from a new type of financial professional, we invite you to get a fresh perspective beside an agent with the backing of New York Life. Insurance, investments, retirement, and more. Visit nyl.com to learn more. Investments are offered through registered representatives of NyLife Securities, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC, a New York Life company.
Hey, what's up? It's Wanda Sykes. I'm here to remind you about something super important, getting your breast screened. Because trust me, your breast health should be a priority. Early detection for breast cancer can change the game, which is why you should visit yourattentionplease.com to learn more. And do me a favor, if you've already had a breast cancer screening, remind your friends and family to visit yourattentionplease.com too. We gotta look out for our girls.
Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of But Am I Wrong?
Ooh, woo, 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 woo.
You can take it over from here.
Yeah, this is a podcast starring us, 2 people who have not once ever been wrong. And get ready, because I have a feeling we're going to be incredibly correct this episode, as we always are. And it's a great time. We have 3 different segments. We'll explain each one of them before we get into it. But what you need to know is this is a safe place to talk shit. It's a safe place for us to gossip. If you hate someone, we hate them with you. Like we are just 2 dumb bitches staring at each other going, exactly. Do
not call me dumb ever again in your life.
But also have to remember that if anyone's brand new here, I am the dumb bitch going, exactly. And if I am alone in a room with another woman and then I'm hearing, I go, oh, exactly. Melissa walks into the room. That person leaves. You then see, do I turn to Melissa and say exactly? I turn to you and I go, let me tell you what just happened and you tell me what you think about this. And then I go, and whatever you think, by the way, is now what I think.
Yep. So we have a melding of minds. We do disagree sometimes, but...
Yeah, but most of the time that you disagree with me, I go, well, she's probably right.
But also sometimes I'm just trying to be a contrarian.
And then I literally will have to ask 9 times. And then finally I go, Melissa, cut the cameras. Are you fucking with me or not? Like, you have to let me know because you have to tell me. Like, I do need to know. Yeah. So, wow. In the time that I did that, Melissa got a whole new piercing. Would you ever get your nose pierced?
Megan, think about what that entails.
A needle. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Would you ever wear a fake nose piercing regularly?
Have I? Yes.
Regularly?
Yes.
You have a very good nose for a piercing.
I have a big Negro nose.
You've got a very good curvature though, so you could do it on either side or the middle.
Right here.
Yeah. And you've got a really good a perfect spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have it where it goes so deep you can't see it and you go,
what's the point? And it looks like something that's on your nose.
Yeah. I said, you're going to have to get a hoop and something bigger because I'm telling you right now, that looks like a blackhead that I would like to pop.
Yuck. So
la 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 la. So we I told you about all the segments, but really what you need to know about the show is we want your participation. So there is a way that you can do that for all the segments, but most importantly, we want you to vote on who you think was wrong in everything we talked about in this episode. So over on our Instagram stories, we post stories there. That's what the stories are for. And they go in our highlights as well. And they're polls. So you vote. Click use your little fingies, click, who you think was wrong, and then write in about why you voted the way you did. Sometimes we have the people who originally we were talking about, not like the famous people. That has yet to happen. I would love for that to happen. They write in and they give...
Well,
and
this week we might, because they've already been in our DMs before. Keep going.
They've been in our DMs, and then they remove themselves from our DMs, and then they do it again, and then again, and again, and again, and I go, I see you. It's an effective strategy. It's not working.
If you're on Patreon, I'll show you during mine.
Yeah. So we would just we love to hear from you. And there's really no hard feelings when you vote opposite from us. Like, we're very okay with not agreeing with people. With the asterisk, depends on what we're fucking talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go, actually, I don't think everyone deserves rights. And here's the thing: I don't think abortions. I don't think an unborn fetus doesn't want. I don't think that needs,
because that's not a body.
No, exactly. So I go, I if you say no, I don't think that. I don't know. Like, I'm a big fan of homophobia. I'd be like, okay, so no, we disagree with that. But other than that, it's a fun place to have some discourse. Sure. Check out our Instagram.
Yeah.
And then, we read it in the results in our episode on Tuesday called See You Next Tuesday.
Sure do. You can also buy some merch if you'd like to support us in a different way.
Should we tell them the last way they can support us, though?
Patreon.
Yep. Video version, ad-free. Or you can join us for the live streams we have twice a month. Or you can just quite literally join because you say, hey, let me use my girl boss corporate cold hard cash to support women in media.
Yeah, let's do it. Now let's get into But Am I Wrong? But Am I Wrong is when we pick something from our personal lives or the news or zeitgeist that we think we have opinions about. We rant, we rave, we go on and on and on and on and on until we make you believe us and be on our side.
I thought you said bleed, and I said, well, we don't do that. If you're already bleeding, we can't help with that, but I promise we're not going to make you bleed.
I should be bleeding here in the next couple days.
Oh. This is good period weather.
I hate it.
Well, I hate my period always, so.
Yeah, I can feel it in my gut.
Yeah, and then one sneeze, one big laugh, and you know that shit's coming right out.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, I don't do either of those. So.
She can't burp.
I can't burp.
Hey, it's close.
All right. So but am I wrong? It seems like it's the theme of the award season. But unless you're a Keke Palmer, Teffy, or Kyla Pratt, I don't want to see you on the red carpet unless you're an actual journalist. Point blank, period.
The way I knew you were going to bring up Keke, I wrote down, bring up Keke, and then I deleted. I said, she'll talk about Keke anyway.
Of course I will. I see you're using the new stuff we got.
I am.
And they're not even sponsoring us anymore. Thanks. But yeah, so in case you missed it, Hannah Berner, she was on the red carpet for the Oscars. Also, that was February. If you're watching Patreon, that was February 6, 2020, and saying March 3rd through 6th.
I also would like people to know that was sent and unsent weekly
numerous times
over the course of about 2 years.
At least, yeah.
I think it started before the pandemic.
Yeah, it was. And this was
2020.
The week before everything started shutting down.
No, it happened. It was relentless. We knew nothing. But then this made us go, no, because I don't like this way of going about it.
So, in case you didn't know, this last week at the Oscars, they had red carpet per usual, and Hannah and the co-host of her podcast, I don't know her name because I don't listen to their podcast. I don't care. I guess they were both on Summer House. I don't care. It's not. It's really irrelevant to the story.
I won't tell you the name. Yeah.
Yeah. Because she wasn't the one being a fucking weirdo. So Hannah was interviewing Meghan Thee Stallion, who was looking great, titty out, and saying that she loved Meghan because Meghan gets her ready to fight, makes her want to fight. I'm sorry, what? That tells me right now that you don't listen to Meghan and you're perpetuating that angry black woman stereotype, because Meghan hates violence, legitimately hates it, says that she's too cute to fight.
Too pretty to fight.
Like, is strictly against it. Also, she is the victim of domestic abuse. All her songs are about either fucking, popping her ass, or mental health. Like, those are the three things that she raps about.
With some anime references.
Right.
Like, She's a hot nerd.
She's a hot nerd that loves to be hot. She is a hot girl. She does hot shit. She perpetuates loving yourself, being who you are, doing what you want to do. Have I listened to Meghan and wanted to fight? No. Have I looked at Meghan and seen what other people have done to her and want to fight on her behalf? Yes. And this is one of those instances. We talk about Meghan a lot on this show. We love her and we want to protect her.
I want to fight for her.
Leave her alone. I did another rant that was like, leave Meghan alone a couple years ago. Leave her alone. Stop being a fucking weirdo. Picture putting on thought shit and you're ready to fight. What?
It also tells me that she's also never been in a fight. And like, because I go, for the record, you've never even taken a boxing class. Like, I love Meg's music. Everyone's like, no, she just meant get hype. And I go,
no, she didn't.
And even if that's the argument, I go, you don't listen to Meg's music because the kind of hype that I need to go to a boxing class, I love Meg. You put that on while I'm already in there. I'm gearing up to like work out and I'm like, oh my God, fuck, I don't like, I need to get some aggression out. I love Meg.
That is a rumble. That is a rumble song. Like we go,
but I don't even want it as my pregame. I want it. I'm already in the zone.
Yes,
put it
exactly.
on and then I go, yeah, I am hot shit. Yeah. But like, that's not going to get me like raged up to fucking throw a punch.
No. If I want to throw a punch, I'm putting on Nuck If You Buck. I'm not putting on Megan Thee Stallion. If I want to shake my ass, I'm putting on Meghan. If I want to take a deep introspection of my life, I'm putting on Meghan. If I want to be pumped to ride some dick, I'm putting on Meghan.
Getting ready for a dick appointment, doing your makeup.
To fight? Shut the fuck up. Get these people off the red carpet. Have some decorum.
Yeah, I will say, I don't want to totally misquote. I think at least other girl's name is Paige. I think both of them went to school for journalism. And that was like what they initially wanted to do, which is cool. We know that doesn't protect anyone because the same thing with Babyface. Like,
okay, you can
be a journalist and be really fucking bad at it.
You can also go to med school and not be a practicing physician.
Or be a practicing physician you don't want to go to. Like, be one that's got a bunch of issues with it. And like, on top of that, she just released her apology, which is...
She did? I didn't even see it. When did she release it?
Like, I literally checked during when we were eating because I was curious if she had. So they apparently put their podcast episodes out on Tuesday and they held off, they like never do that. And they put it out this one. And people were like, oh, she talked about it in the podcast. And then she posted on her story and people were like, oh, she just read this from her podcast. Like, she just read what she posted on her story on the podcast. It's not a conversation. It's apparently very much like a disclaimer that people think the episode was already done and they like threw that in at the beginning. It's ridiculous. I will say that I think anybody who is shocked or surprised, I don't know anything about this girl and I'm not going to like defend or say like the other girl has nothing to do with it whatsoever because I've been on a red carpet when someone is saying like some really like crazy shit.
You have?
I have. And I understand like getting nervous and like putting your foot in your mouth, but like to not pick up on a facial expression, like not to be like, oh shit, what the fuck did I just say?
She doubled
like,
down.
That's what I'm saying. So like there is no aspect of like, oh, she was like just nervous. I go, no. What you overcorrect when you are like if you're word vomiting, you overcorrect. I say that I've done so many fucking red carpet interviews. And I've done so many fucking red carpet interviews with people who I didn't fucking know and I had to pretend to know. And like you say, and like you're just talking and like you're talking to talk and like it's not good. But I've also been with next to someone who's like saying some like really out of pocket shit. And what I do? You clock the camera. You don't smile. You don't laugh. You don't participate. You connect with the person who's offended, rightfully so. Whether that's saying something or not, you fucking force that to move on or you step off camera. Like, they're just like to go down with the ship is crazy to me. But I will say, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Hannah, they're both like friends with the girls from the Toast, who are like literally raging racist and like Trump, Elon Musk dick suckers. But I want to say that when one of them got canceled, either when Hannah got canceled the first time or when one of the girls from the Toast got canceled, they were like, oh, they're for each other. And I'm like, okay, I would never want some consoling for getting canceled over a girl who got canceled because she said the most fucking racist things ever. And then also at the same time, I'm not going to console the girl who's getting canceled for saying the right. Like, I don't want you to console me. I don't want to. So like, to me, I think it's like, it's really clear and obvious, like who these people are. And then she also said to Bowen and Matt Rogers, two gay men, best friends, asked if they ever fucked.
Hooked up. Yep.
Yeah, and I guess she's also said some very similar macro aggressive things on Summer House to Sierra.
I've seen her say it on because during the pandemic, her and Giselle from Real Housewives of Potomac, and then somebody from one of the Below Decks, they had like a virtual show that they were doing on Bravo. It was really low budget because everything was they couldn't do they couldn't film anything, so they were having like this virtual show that was like it was like The Soup but the three of them.
Okay, I love The Soup.
It would be like clips, and they're not funny. Like she was supposed to be the funny one, and she's not funny, and she would say just like out of pocket things. And Giselle and the other lady, I'm sorry, I don't watch Below Deck, so I don't know who she is.
There's a lot of people. That's
yes. Okay. A blonde white lady.
Probably Kate.
That is who it was.
Yep.
So they were they would like try to correct her and say things because they're like Giselle's like in her 50s, so they would be trying to like correct her, but like Hannah would keep doubling down on the shit.
Yeah, apparently she said her inspiration is Amy Schumer, which really checks out.
Yikes.
Yeah. And
so she still should.
Yeah. And I also think that like there's also a clip apparently of them talking about the new Bond and
Regé-Jean Page.
Okay. Regé-Jean Page. They were talking about him potentially being the next Bond. And to
I remember this.
Upsell him, Page goes, he's light skinned. And it was like that was like a selling point that like this is a desirable thing for him to be. And like,
yes,
if anyone wants to defend that, specifically people have been calling for a black Bond. And then this is instead of she's not saying like, oh, he's light skinned versus a white man. It's versus
and
a black man.
For the longest time,
like a dark skinned black man.
Idris was in the run. He said he doesn't want to do it. He thinks that he should have his own franchise. And I agree. But for the longest time, he was in discussion, and that is a dark-skinned black man. So why are we
romanticizing an alternative as like this is a better, like clearly this is the better option? So yeah, just like look who people surround themselves with, and this to me is shit. And now people, by the way, are villainizing beta blockers because they think beta blockers are like Xanax, because apparently they just kept talking about how they couldn't do this about beta blockers. And they're like, I love the beta blockers. I'm feeling like so zen. I can't feel anything. And everyone's like, yeah, people thought that like, and they were like, why are they like glorifying like drug abuse? And people in the comments were like, whoa, beta blockers are like Advil. Like they are like so not a big deal. But the way that they were talking about it, and now people are like, ugh, beta blockers. I'm like, swear to God, if I have to fight for my beta block, if I have to defend I already have to defend my Adderall. If I have to defend my beta blockers, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong.
And we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into Meghan's.
We are so excited to have a brand new sponsor, and I'm feeling very cool because Jesse and Lily are sponsored by OneSkin, and now we are.
Yay!
We are finally here. Skincare, we love skincare. We're all about it. And let's talk about peptides for a minute. If you're like me, you're seeing them everywhere. Peptide this, peptide that, peptide. It's almost a tongue twister. Just because something says peptide on it doesn't actually mean that it's really doing anything for you, but that is where OneSkin's OS1 peptide is different. Some peptides just sit on top of the skin, and OS1 goes deeper. It's scientifically formulated to penetrate the cells within skin's deeper layers, which improves key skin health markers like collagen production, hydration, and my personal uphill battle constantly, skin barrier function.
I think that's both of our uphill battles.
Truly.
I was so excited to get this as well because I just ran out of my other moisturizer, so it was perfect timing. Not only is OS1 proven to remain stable from the lab to the countertop, so you get reliable results every time. And guys, listen, if you're not getting results from your peptides, it might be time to take a closer look. All of OneSkin's topical supplements are backed by lab and clinical studies. And they're all powered by OS1 peptide, the first and only peptide that is scientifically proven to target senescent cells that contribute to lines, wrinkles, and thinning skin. Try OneSkin with an exclusive 15% off your first purchase using Blame Me at oneskin.co.
I love these products. I've been trying out the Essential Moisturizer and the Essential Eye Cream. And for me, eye cream is one of those things that like, I love a little luxury eye cream. I love to like feel that, but specifically the older that I get, and also sometimes if my sleep is not that great, I really notice the lines under the eyes, and I always want my makeup to apply better. And what I love about this is it looks so nice if I put it on, no makeup on, but I also can apply makeup on it. It's not just for like that really rich overnight kind of a thing. It's really a daily thing that you can use, and it just looks and feels really good. And the moisturizer.
Oh, can I talk about that? Because sometimes my skin is very dry and scaly. Sometimes my skin is very oily. Sometimes my skin, I'm like, what even is this? But this face moisturizer is perfect. It goes on very smooth. It's not too thick, but you can feel the moisture in it. And then afterwards, after it's like really soaked in, you can just feel just how supple your skin is.
That's the perfect word, supple. And just like us, OneSkin loves science. So glad to hear. We love science in this house.
We do love science.
And OneSkin's entire R&D process is run in-house, strictly adhering to the rigor of scientific process from start to finish. Every claim is based on lab or clinical studies, and it's documented.
Founded and led by an all-woman team of skin and longevity scientists, OneSkin is redefining the aging process with their proprietary OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to help skin look, feel, and behave like its younger self.
Get 15% off with code BLAMEME at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BLAMEME. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self will thank you. Hi, it's Megan.
And Melissa.
If you're like us and you're always searching for the next great book, then we have the perfect show recommendation. The Webby Award-winning podcast, Totally Booked with Zibby.
Formerly called Moms Don't Have Time to Read Books, Totally Booked delivers daily interviews with best-selling authors in just 30 minutes or so. Hosted by Zibby Owens, the powerhouse bookstore owner and best-selling author dubbed NYC's most powerful bookfluencer by Vulture. Needless to say, Zibby's redefining what it means to be a book lover. And with so few daily book podcasts out there, this one is a must listen.
Looking for somewhere to start? They just released an episode with stand-up comedian Chelsea Handler about her brand new book, I'll Have What She's Having. It'll definitely get you laughing. Not to mention, other recent guests include award-winning actor and model Brooke Shields on her new memoir and New York Times bestselling author Gabby Bernstein on self-help techniques she's personally found most useful.
So don't miss out. Follow Totally Booked with Zibby on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening now.
There are many ways to entice a potential new customer with flashy branding and calculated marketing strategies. But at the end of the day, the success of a business comes down to the ability to close the sale. And for businesses like Thrive Cosmetics, Allbirds, or Skims, it's what goes on behind the scenes, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple that makes the difference. For them and for millions of businesses, that difference is made with Shopify. Businesses that want to grow, grow with Shopify. Because if your goal is growth, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. And Shopify will make sure you're ready. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And with Shop Pay, they boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. It's no wonder Shopify is home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/realm.
Back. It is time for mine with an asterisk. It's actually not mine, it's Motz's. And he said this, and I said, that's actually, I don't like diehard believe this, but I think this is kind of like cute and fun. And he said one sentence, and I said, suddenly I think that we should do that as well. And when we were watching the Oscars, he turned to me and he said, I think you should only ever be allowed to win one Oscar. And that is a hilarious concept to me once we started talking about it, because then it becomes, oh God, I hope I don't get nominated for this shitty thing or whatever. And then the one Oscar you get what you get. And I'm like, this is it. To me, it reminds me of the of Leonardo DiCaprio, how everybody was waiting for him to get one. And a lot of people have said he was given like a here, shut up one. You're finally getting it for one that people didn't necessarily think was his most deserving performance. But he was like, I just think it'd be so fun to like have new people. And once you got it, you got it. So like the campaigning of it and all of that, there can be no like, oh, this person always gets, this person always wins. And can you guess what he said when that came up during the show that he said you should only be allowed to win one?
Was it during Best Actress?
No.
Best Actor?
Yes. So I would say,
I think the combination of them together.
20 minutes in to the hour and a half acceptance rambling speech of Adrian Brody, Mott said, you should only have one time. You only get to win it once.
Especially when you say, I've done this before. Turn the music off.
After he throws his gum to Harvey Weinstein's ex-wife, aka his new girlfriend. Horrible. And I just think that's kind of fun. Like, I think it's kind of cool that you only win one. And it opened
the category. Because like Viola has won for Best Supporting. I'd like to see her in Best Lead.
I mean, I didn't ask many follow-up questions, but yeah, I think in each category. Because I also think that like I love when a actor directs. So like I don't, and I think those are so different in terms of like what it takes to win the award and like what the job is. Supporting is also very different than like leading, but like it's within the same category. I wouldn't even break it up into like you can have one performance-based one and then one above the line BTS one. I think it in the category. And then think about that. It kind of makes it more EGOT-y. Like you already got one. You could get all of them in the category. And I just think that like, that's like lovely. And then I would never have to see Adrian Brody on that stage ever again.
He'd be up there for Best Director again. And then,
one time,
again. And then he'd probably try for Best Supporting. Like he would submit himself for Best Supporting. And then he's going to like try to edit something.
Best of luck. That man can't use a computer. Look at him.
Yeah, but he could have somebody do it. And as far as like, didn't they use AI in his film? So he probably just have some AI to do it. Yeah.
So I just thought that was like a fun little concept because I'm always looking at who's the next EGOT winner. And when you see someone who's just like stacked up Oscar after Oscar after Oscar, you look at it and some of them are some of them feel more deserved than others. And then sometimes it feels like someone won it just because of who it is, not so much the performance based. And I would love that. Plus, a lot of people wanted there to be like a new, like best new artist, essentially, like same category that they want to do, like emerging actor, because that would benefit the best actress category because they really love to give a young girl a best actress and they love to give an older guy the best actor.
Oh.
Go figure. So I just think this would be like just a fun thing.
I'm not against it.
Me neither. I just thought it was like an interesting new way we could prevent Adrian Brody from having a microphone.
Being on stage. Or how about just don't nominate him? How about that?
Well, I actually think they're allergic to that apparently. Like someone's holding a gun to their head and they said, I need someone to make a 4-hour-long movie starring Adrian Brody and I need someone to nominate him for an Oscar. And I really don't need that.
Yeah. So there we go. I don't disagree, but also I have room to make exceptions for the
Angela
people
Bassett.
I like.
Yeah. I would also like to retroactively go back in time and rearrange who got what.
Yep. What was that? I don't like it at all.
I think it looks cool.
Stop!
Okay, sorry.
If you want to see the weird shit that Meghan is doing, check out the Patreon. Do that while you're making your piss videos.
Not for free. I learned my first time when I accidentally did it and I go, could have made money. It was monetized. Thank God it was monetized.
So you did make some money.
No, we're thinking about what I'm going to wear to Cowboy Carter.
Yeehaw!
Giddy up. Look at that horse.
Giddy up, giddy up. All right. Now we're going to get into the first write-in for But Are You Wrong? But Are You Wrong is when y'all can write in and share what's going on in your life. So you can write into butamiwrongpod@gmail.com or use our submission form, which is in the show notes. If you're following us on Instagram, you're in for a real treat with the weekly graphics that we're putting out jointly, both of us together.
Yeah. And when you look at it, you go, I can't tell who made this, Meghan or Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
One of these has a grainy paper-like filter texture, and the other one is a GIF I've never seen before of an act that is so lewd and so weird. I'm confused, but can't look away.
I say GIF, but yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
We're not always the same.
So today we
didn't say what this is.
I did.
Did we say where to write in?
Yes, I just said that.
Sorry. My meds should kick in soon.
Here we go. A few weeks ago, my 24, her friend, 24, got her driver's permit and asked if we could practice driving together using my car. No. I said I wasn't comfortable with that since it's technically under my dad's name and his insurance, and he would tear me apart if the car got damaged. She understood and then asked if I could go rent a zip car under my name and let her drive it. But again, I said no, that is illegal and do not want something on my record if anything happened. Again, she understood and didn't bring it up for a bit, but now she is taking the driver's test this week and asked if I could drive her to the test and let her use my car. Again, I said I am uncomfortable with this for the same reasons, aka my dad's wrath. If I don't bring her, she does have some other people she could ask who she's not quite as close to, or she could pay $250 to use the driver school car. She is in the financial position to do this. For context, we are pretty new friends. I only moved in the area 6 months ago, and I do trust that she most likely wouldn't get into an accident or anything. But the 0.01% chance she does, my dad would give me so much shit for it. And I am generally a very risk-averse person. Am I wrong for telling her no for these things? I feel bad for being so challenging, and I usually say yes to many things. So this has been difficult for me to keep this boundary, but I do feel like it's in my best interest. Ma'am, I don't let people that have a license drive my car. I don't think you're wrong at all. I feel like she should have this lined up in a legal way. Do you feel differently than I do?
No, I do have. What fucking state do you live in where you can have a driver's permit at 24? Like in California, you can't get one past 18. You don't have a permit. You just are trying to get your license. So I don't know. I mean, as someone who drove late, I didn't start driving until I was like 19. Mm-hmm. Someone who's not driving until 24 is because they grew up in a city that they did not need to have to drive. And also they probably were using public transportation. They weren't even driving with other people in cars a ton of the time. Or they have like intense anxiety about driving, which is why they haven't driven yet. And regardless of the reason, there's either too much anxiety, fear, or poor driving quality, or not enough even like vehicle experience to warrant. There is no way that you just like casually don't have your license at 24 without checking off either of those things. Mm-hmm. Like you either have immense driving anxiety or you're not around cars enough. Like that's just not a need for you. So both of those cases, no. In only 6 months, this person sounds like a liability.
Exactly. Like and she has the means to purchase like in a legal way, a car that is used for this specific purpose. So I wouldn't feel comfortable asking someone else if I could use their car for this.
No, not at
and
all.
You barely know her.
No, and that's I wouldn't ask someone I'm close to. I would not ask someone I'm not like just met within the last 6 months to do this. You just tell her that she should just wait 2 more years and then she can rent a car.
Well, she has to have a license for that.
No, but she could, rent the... Well, that's a good point.
To have a license to rent the car.
Well, I'm sure she could find a workaround. Like,
I'm sure she can purchase this zip car not the zip car. Also, doing this with a zip car with no license is crazy work. Like,
I also think that's illegal.
It is illegal. That's what the writer said. Like, to purchase a zip car, well, it's not purchasing, you're renting. in your name, anything that happens to that car and she's driving it, you are liable for it.
She's not insured. Like,
right.
And depending on the state, you're either insured as a driver or the car is insured. So like either your car won't be insured if she's driving your car and your dad's car won't be insured and she also won't be insured. So she gets crashed, like no one has insurance, or it's your car, you have the insurance, she crashes into somebody, it's your responsibility, not hers.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, and to continue asking is also just crazy to me. I think if you've made it till 24 without needing a driver's license, you don't need one this bad.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, but you don't.
If you've moved to, it sounds like that they moved to a new area and it may not have the same type of transportation from where they're coming from.
I just mean, you're not putting in enough effort for me to go, you actually really care about this and you want, like, you're trying to use all these other people to get, like, if you were actually serious about this, you'd be, like, you wouldn't be asking for all these favors from all these other people to help you get your license. I'm like, then you don't need it or want it that bad. Because if someone says no, then you go, well, I guess that's it. I can't do it. Like,
right.
And you don't actually want it.
Right.
Yeah, this is crazy fucking work. I like even think back to like a guy that I dated in high school who had a gorgeous stick shift Audi that he got for his 16th birthday. Like nice little coupe, like great, gorgeous car. And he kept trying to teach me how to drive in it. And I'm like, it literally sounded, and he was like, it's fun. And I was like,
no, it's literally not.
I was like, I don't want to keep doing
this. Was he trying to impress you?
We were.
Okay.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't fucking, but.
Twinkling the ivories, if you will.
Yeah, we were doing the rest of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a virgin. And then when I wasn't a virgin anymore, he was with his other girlfriend afterwards. He said, I'll break up with her if you want to fuck now. And I was like, I'm good.
Anyway, well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into, but are they wrong?
When life gets hectic, one of the first things that goes out the window for me is making sure I'm eating well. Deciding what to make for dinner night after night, especially on those busy weekdays, can just take a little bit out of me. I actually had a day like that recently where I was planning on just ordering takeout because I had decision fatigue on top of regular fatigue. And I'm so glad I didn't because it ended up being the same day that my HelloFresh box arrived. I usually get HelloFresh's 15-minute meals because I love how quickly the meals come together, and I made this sausage and tortellini soup with garlic bread. It was so filling and just perfect for a cozy winter eve. And now I have a recipe for a simple and delicious meal that I know I can make quickly and in one pot, and I love being able to reuse these recipes that I get from HelloFresh. They also have new ready-made meals, so you can go from the fridge to your fork in just 3 minutes. It's the same high-quality ingredients and restaurant-quality flavor you expect from HelloFresh, just with none of the work. So I'm stoked to try those out on the days when I want to do even less in the kitchen.
Get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at hellofresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast. 1 item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to hellofresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast.
Can you feel it in the air? That sudden shift of mood? It's the perfect time to shed the winter blues and experience the revitalizing qualities of driving a Lincoln. It starts with the Lincoln Spring Sales Event. So step outside and visit your local Lincoln retailer or Lincoln.com for some seriously mood-enhancing offers on current and past Lincoln models. Your transformation awaits. Learn more at Lincoln.com.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
All right, we're back, and now it's time for But Are They Wrong? That's when we nominate somebody from the zeitgeist that we believe is wrong. I'm up first, and mine is Marvin Morales. So let's talk about this wild situation that happened in Sacramento County. This guy is was a deputy. He overdosed on fentanyl in the station bathroom. So this guy, Deputy Marvin Morales, he pulls somebody over. He saw them walking, and he takes a foil packet, because he stopped them because he thought that they looked suspicious. So he took this packet of a drug. He thought it was meth. And so he goes back to the station, goes to the bathroom, uses a pipe and smokes it. Turns out it was fentanyl. Another officer goes into the bathroom. He is sprawled out on the ground. All this is on body cam too. Sprawled out on the ground. His limbs are all which way. The officer that finds him squats down and is feeding numerous Narcan to him. And the fact that he knew to give him Narcan seems suspicious, because why would you just suspect that a police officer in the bathroom, that's what they needed if they're passed out? And so then he goes to the hospital. He wakes up, and he knew what he was doing. They found out that he's a regular user, which obviously this other officer knew, because why would he just automatically give him Narcan? And this wasn't an accident. He even lied about throwing away a pipe he'd taken from someone else that same day, and that's what he used to smoke. And so now he has been saying that the reason why he was using was because he was depressed. But this is me guessing, is that he knew exactly, because you can see him stopping the people, and it's just somebody walking by.
Oh, yeah.
He knew them, and you can see it. It's on his body cam. He knew what was going on. I believe that he had made a deal with them before and said, I won't, because he just gave them a warning. Like, why would you just give somebody a warning?
For possession?
For possession of meth.
No, that's objectively crazy.
And let them walk off.
You said,
you know what?
It's not a fake ID. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Good. Yeah,
so on camera, he's opening the package, takes it, and then he leaves later. This is all happening in the same day. And he had stopped somebody else with the pipe. And then later he goes to the bathroom, turns off his cam. And then his fellow officer finds him sprawled out on the ground. So he's been doing this quite regularly. And who knows, how many people he might have arrested for the same thing when he was just taking it and using it himself.
Yeah, check the evidence locker too.
Mm-hmm.
So he survived?
Yes, he survived.
This is deeply not uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
And,
which is why that officer knew to give him Narcan.
Yeah. And also people want to villainize people who use or are dependent on substances so much, being they're just violent people. It's so crazy how for those same people, it usually doesn't ever apply to when the law enforcement is participating. And I go, oh, that's not the person I necessarily want to call in a crisis, or someone who I think is going to make a rash, sound, safe decision for all parties involved. Wild, 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 wild.
Claire is practicing her breathing for her upcoming yoga retreat in Bali. Has she ever done yoga before? No. But Claire worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Join our 19 million customers today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisor Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Om Namaste.
Revolutionize your cooking with the Tefal Infrared Air Fryer. Watch as your food crisps up through a large lighted window and delight in faster, crispier, and juicier results with no preheating, thanks to Tefal's advanced infrared technology. Discover the future of cooking and bring innovation into your kitchen by visiting Tefal.com.
Watch the world's biggest tennis stars clash in the California desert at the BNP Paribas Open, live on Tennis Channel. How do they get to these shots?
Tune in daily for exclusive first ball to last coverage from Indian Wells and witness all of the jaw-dropping action as the game's top men and women square off at one of the greatest events in sports. It's tennis magic you need to see to believe. The BNP Paribas Open, live on Tennis Channel and streaming on the Tennis Channel app.
So my nomination is Zachary's Daiquiris. How did I end up on this side of TikTok? I don't know who any of these people are. So sorry in advance to everyone who watches. I think she's on Southern Charm. I'm so sorry if I get it wrong. This is the same thing with me and Sandoval. I just ended up on this side. So a couple days ago, from the time that we're recording this girl, Sarah Boss. Great last name. And her new last name is going to be Bass. So she's going to be like Sarah Boss Bass or Sarah Bass Boss. And I was like, cute. Love that. She talks about like she lives in Charleston and she does like reviews talking about things or just promoting Charleston. She grew up there, born and raised, lives there now with her husband and really wants to support the city. And so she gets on her TikTok that she has. This is a good point to make. She follows me, following her back. Hey, Sarah, 880,000.4. She almost has 1 million followers, tons of followers. Mm-hmm. And she gets on there and talks about how she went to this new daiquiri bar that opened up in Charleston called Zach's Dax. And it's from this, she doesn't say this part, I don't think, but it is like restaurateur couple who has like a bunch of stuff. They like own a ton of these places. And for context, the woman who co-owns this she co-owns it. It's her and her husband. And then Zach is some white man who is like an investor or whatever. And she's on Southern Charm. And so this girl goes, she gets invited to like a preview of this. And then it officially opens at 8 p.m. that night. And they're sitting outside when they're hearing this. And they see the bouncer walk out to the line that has now like wrapped around the block and step next to a group of black men who are in the line and then say, hey, everybody, there's a brand new dress code. No Jordans, no athletic pants, and no like jeans with holes in them. And they're just describing this group of black men who are standing right next to them. And they were like, okay, there is nothing about a dress code, nothing. There are people inside at the time. And when I looked it up, this place looks like it's like a fancy 7-Eleven. Like they're slushies. Like it is like, it looks like it looks like an ice cream shop. Like this isn't a club. Like this looks like a place you could go without shoes on. And I say this as someone who grew up in a beach town, like not town, but like I grew up going to on the coast. Like this to me screams coastal. I can't tell you that the first time I ever saw a sign that said no shirt, no shoes, no service, I said, what do you mean? The amount of times I've gone into stores with a bathing suit and no shoes on. This has that exact fucking vibe. I feel like you could wear Heelys in here. Rise your hoverboard. It looks like a fucking yogurt land. So Sarah and her husband saw this happen and they were like, what the fuck? Like that does not feel right. That doesn't sit right. And then there was a couple of other patrons right around them who like saw that they were having a reaction and being like, hey, did you just see, like, did we see what we think we saw? And they were like, yeah, we're not saying like that. I feel deeply uncomfortable. Like, that's not cool. And so they get up and they leave and they go to the bouncer and they said, hey, I want you to know that I saw and heard what you just did. And like, I think that's really fucked up. And like, I was really enjoying my time here. I was really excited about this new place, but like, I'm not going to be able to come back and support you. Like, why did you do that? Like, that was like clearly targeted and racist and really horrible. And the person was like, it's management told me to do. I was just abiding by management. And they were like, I don't really care. Like, no, but like, good to know that's what your management wants. But like, that was really fucked up. So they leave and she starts like writing an email to them, writes an email, says the same thing, being like, hey, I witnessed this. And like, I really do not feel okay with this. This is not good. I'm not a fan of this. And again, she was invited as like a small influencer to go to like this opening. So like they have her email, like, and it has her name attached. And so her and her husband went to go leave a Google review and they see that one of the men has already left a review, basically saying, hey, I was here waiting and then I was asked to leave because of my, like, saying specifically targeting Jordans. There are people inside wearing this, not coming back here, don't need to not feel welcome in my town. And so she saw that and she said, okay, that's what made her say she felt okay to like, talk about it on TikTok and reference that. So she then talked about TikTok. Her and her husband both left Google reviews, all of that. And then lots of people came forward basically saying that they went in during the opening, it's only been open for like less than a week or around a week at this point. People have been going and saying like, yeah, went with my white friends. They got much better service than I did. Like, not surprising. They do have a dress code at most of their fucking restaurants that say no Jordans. They don't say anything about sneakers. They're fine with sneakers, but no Jordans. They even at some of them say no jerseys and no no athletic pants, and you can't wear jeans if they are sagging at all. And I was like, okay, yeah, this feels targeted.
Yeah,
so,
that's extremely targeted.
Very targeted. And so the response has come from Leva, who is one of the owners of this. And she would like to make it abundantly clear to everybody, because she says in all of her statements that she has a black husband. So therefore,
oh God,
she can't be racist. And they can't be racist. But she's even more so saying that she removes herself from it. She goes, I can't believe you would accuse my black husband of being racist. No one said anything about we're talking about your establishment here, but then to remove yourself from being accused of being racist and then turn it to, no, this white girl is trying to shut down a black-owned business and a black-owned woman. Like she's trying to shut down a woman business and a black-owned business, small business, because she just wants fame. She went viral for talking about Panera because she was the girl who discovered that there was way more caffeine in the Panera like charged lemonades than she thought, because they didn't advertise it. And like you've
talked about that too.
She was like one of the people who like made that blow up to then Panera started having to label that. And everyone's like, girl, that was not like look, she's going to attack Panera and go viral. Like she was overdosing on caffeine every day. Like that was not good. And so Leva then gets on her Instagram or TikTok, and she accuses this girl of trying to clout chase and just trying to want to like steal their clout and be famous. It should note that I think she's about maybe 10,000 followers. Like this girl is not, she might be on that show, but like this girl, she's so much bigger on TikTok than her whatsoever. Yeah, accuses her of trying to shut down a business. She then goes as far to accuse her because they started new Google review pages. Like there's new Google locations where she's trying to leave a review. They're deleting reviews. And then there's a brand new location that pops up that only has 5-star reviews. And she's like, what the fuck? Leva accuses this girl of making a fake Google like business address and then registering and stealing and making like this girl's the one who made the Zachary's Google page. We didn't do it. She made it. And then she made all of these negative fake reviews.
What?
And she goes, to be pretending to be a black man is the deepest form of racism. What? No, not at all. She doubles down and says they have nothing to apologize for. And she goes, all of our restaurants and all of our places have dress codes after 8 p.m., blah, 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 whatever. And no, we're not going to kick people out beforehand who like didn't adhere to the dress code. There was no dress code listed and pointed online whatsoever. And also your dress code point blank is racist, and still on their dress code for this, it doesn't say anything about Jordans. That was still just we don't want these people in here. We don't want them to come in here. And then finally, she says that Leva says, I'll see this girl in court, or should I say and then says a town where you still live with your parents, as she tries to dox her and her parents' address.
That's sick. Like you're that racist. That's awful. And also, if her husband is so offended, why isn't he saying anything?
Well, technically, quote unquote, he did say something. It's just so crazy. I guess they must just be so alike, just synergetic, that the way her husband writes in a written statement is exactly like her, and how she writes in all of her written statements, that they must just be so connected. I think that she's been writing everything saying, like she writes things saying it comes from him, but it is all her. Like it's so abundantly clear that it is all sounds like her. The same spelling errors, the same punctuation, like the same everything. And I'm like, yeah, no, you can tell it's you. So, yeah. And then to specifically be like, she's trying to tear down a small minority business. And like this white girl needs to stay like out of our business. She was like, I just don't want to support a place that does this. She goes, willing to learn from it. If it can be like a one-off thing of being like, yeah, we should reflect on that. But they've doubled down. And I guess this is not unfamiliar accusations that they've had and faced. And again, who the fuck needs a place of just alcoholic smoothie? Like,
honestly, sounds kind of fire.
No, but to me, that's like a Disneyland. Like
it is.
Why do you need it to be because my confusion is, do they not have open container laws? Because like you would have to stand there, but it looks like, from what I saw online, it looks like Yogurtland. Like there's not enough places to like sit and enjoy on their linoleum floors. I'm supposed to drink a whole, and then where do I go? Like after I've drank this giant frozen alcoholic daiquiri.
Are
like
they next to a club?
I don't know, but like maybe, but that's also like you're then drunk walking in public. Like I just legit, and I don't know, maybe the open container laws are different, but like as someone from California, I'm like, logistically, this would be a nightmare.
Well, Yeah. This is just bonkers as far as like double, tripling, quadrupling down on being wrong.
Like accusing her of making a fake Facebook business page, Google business page for your business.
All you had to do was say sorry and then move on. That's literally all you had to do.
She quite literally says, I'm not going to say sorry. We didn't do literally anything wrong. I'll see you in court. And I go, for what?
For what?
And they're like making a fake Facebook, making a fake Google business account.
Prove it.
Seems like she's got a lot more time on her hands.
If that guy, Palmer, you know what I'm talking about, who is
Arnold?
always, no, he's making, he makes fake accounts all the time and also like gets into like pyramid scheme meetings and tells everybody what's actually going on. Like his account name is Palmer Trolls, I believe, but he makes accounts all the time. And does he get sued? Yeah. Does he ever have to pay anything? No, because he's not actually doing anything wrong because it's parody.
Well, but also like her whole thing of being like, she made this. I wouldn't think you could make a business on Google if you couldn't register that to yourself. But like her being like, anyone can do it. And I go, do you know that? Because you've made 3 for this one. Like, I wouldn't know that. This girl wouldn't know that. Like, who's taking she's sitting there at your restaurant and they're like, nobody is like going to leave. Like the people who like left the line because they didn't have the dress code, they're not going to like go sit in another bar and write that. They would never. She's like, and she literally said, a man would never do that. Clearly a woman would. And I'm like,
oh, so she's racist and sexist.
Yeah. And so should I say that the novel that you said was written by your husband? I should assume that a woman wrote that, right? Not a man. I think she literally was like, me and my black husband, like literally on all of it. And I was like, I don't like how you're saying that.
No. All right. Yeah. Piece of shit. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
Tune in tomorrow for See You Next Tuesday, where we
Ooh, loved that, Kermit. Stay green, girl.
Where we read the results from last week's But Am I Wrong? And also share your comments on situations. And tune in like Tuesday, Wednesday. It's usually Wednesday now for the voting for this episode. And then on Wednesday, use that day to catch up. Thursday for Don't Blame Me. And then Friday, Fisting Friday. And we'll be back on Monday for this very show. But am I wrong? Buy our merch. Join our Patreon. Come live stream with us. We have a good time. We'll have one this week. And it'll be a great time. All right. We will circle back. Goodbye.
Bye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Hello, I am Kristen Russo.
And I am Jenny Owen Youngs.
We are the hosts of Buffering the Vampire Slayer once more with spoilers, a rewatch podcast covering all 144 episodes of, you guessed it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We are here to humbly invite you to join us for our 5th Buffy prom, which, if you can believe it, we are hosting at the actual Sunnydale High School. That's right. On April 4th and 5th, we will be descending upon the campus of Torrance High School, which was the filming location for Buffy's Sunnydale High, to dance the night away to 90s music in the iconic courtyard, to sip on punch right next to the Sunnydale High fountain, and to nerd out together in our prom best inside of the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All information and tickets can be found at bufferingcast.com/prom. Come join us.
Have you ever heard about the 19th century French actress with so many lovers that they formed a lovers' union? Or what about the Aboriginal Australian bandit who faked going into labor just to escape the police, which she did escape from them. It was a great plan. How about the French queen who murdered her rival with poison gloves? I'm Ann Foster, host of the feminist women's history comedy podcast, Vulgar History. Every week I share the saga of a woman from history whose story you probably didn't already know, and you will never forget after you hear it. Sometimes we re-examine well-known people like Cleopatra or Pocahontas, sharing the truth behind their legends. Sometimes we look at the scandalous women you'll never find in a history textbook. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get podcasts. And if you're curious, the people I was talking about before, the Australian woman is named Marianne Bug, and the French actress was named Rochelle, no last name, just Rochelle. And the queen who poisoned her rival is Catherine de Medici. I have episodes about all of them.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.